Good morning. Happy Friday. Welcome into My Sweet Home Living. My name is Tracy Campbell and I love primitive style rustic country decorating. If you love decorating your home in that style, then you're in the right place. Love to share decorating ideas and how-to videos with you. And today is a special segment with my friends over in the Craft Round the Clock group. It is flannel and wood slice theme day. So if you love those types of things, all day long you will have crafts and DIY projects with those items. So I can't wait to see who's here today. I'm going to get us shared over to the Craft Round the Clock group because I know we have friends waiting for us today, and they'll want to join in. We go all the way up until 10:30 p.m. Central Time tonight for today's theme, and then we also have a late night crafting segment that begins at 10:30 p.m. Central Time. So when I say all day, like literally all day long. Good morning from Connecticut. Good morning from Eastern Ohio. And while we are waiting for my computer to just log up here, I don't know, it's slow. It says it's Friday. Give me a break. Hello, Miss Shelley. How are you? Good morning, Teresa. I'm so excited y'all are here. Well, I'm telling you, I've got a hodgepodge of stuff in front of me today. We just have a whole buffet of things. But the one thing that I am using today, which I almost panicked. In fact, I had another project lined up this morning and changed my mind about 20 minutes ago because I finally found what I was looking for last night. I knew I had some wood slices, and if you all are like me, you just know you have something and you just can't find it when you need it. But when you don't need it, it's like in your way all the time. Yeah, that's my boat that I was in this morning. Good morning, Miss Marcia. Hello, Laura. Let's see here. I am going to, I don't know what is going on. I don't know what's going on. I do need to get over to my page. I finally found my wood slices last night, or this morning, I mean, and then I thought I had several more, but that's okay. We're going to use these. And guys, y'all know we can find these things everywhere, but they are such a good surface to work with for all kinds of things, all kinds of projects. You can paint on them, you can decoupage on them, you can stack and build with them. I mean, all kinds of things. And I can't wait to see all of today's projects. I know the ladies that have been up before me have already had some amazing projects. I didn't get to watch super close this morning, so I'll go back and catch those. But I'm thinking we're going to have some really cool ideas for you today. And these are usually relatively inexpensive. And a lot of times you can find them in bulk, so that's even better, right? Anytime you can find things in bulk, that's easier. Hey, hello, Miss Deborah and Patricia and Jan. Hello. I'm so glad y'all are here. All right. So I have the drill. I have fabric. I have coffee grunge. I have coffee podge. I even have essential oils on the craft table this morning. And so who knows what we're going to get into today. So I got to share it over so now I can get this out of the way. But I have two wood slices that I'm going to use. And right here. Right, literally right under my nose. I don't quite know exactly what I want to do with them other than I want to make them Christmas ornaments. I mean, it's never too early to create for Christmas. But I am going to get a head start on my Christmas decorating this year. And so that I will be ready and enjoy it this year. I did not get to enjoy Christmas last year because I was in the middle of a move. So this year, you better believe it, I'm going to be decorating for Christmas early. I don't care. It's what works for me, right? So you do what works for you, right? And we'll all get to enjoy it the way we want to. But I am ready to start thinking about Christmas decorating. I'm not ready to decorate yet, but I'm ready to start thinking about it. So I'm going to use these wood slice ornaments, and I'm going to do probably both sides of these. And I'm so excited. I'm going to have a tree in several different parts of the house. And I'm really thinking I might want to do a primitive style tree this year, in at least one primitive tree in here. My living room tree always stays the same. And it's just like a classic vintage, I like to call it like a homespun Christmas tree decorating theme. But that's what I'm going with in my living room. But I do kind of want to have a primitive style tree, probably back here in the back part of my home. Maybe in this room, who knows? Good morning, Miss Jane. You finally caught me live from Cynthia. Oh, let me see who. Laura, welcome in. I lived in Cynthia for a short time. Oh, about 19 years ago. So, and I bet you know a sweet and special lady that's dear to my heart, Miss Cindy Hill. She is one of my loyal watchers on here. I tell you, she is just the sweetest, I tell you. So, and if you're in Cynthia, you know Cindy Hill. What do I want for Christmas? Oh, goodness, Natalie. Well, don't get me started. My kids and I were joking the other day. We were like, man, we have all these trees. We just wish one of these was at least a money tree. What would you get if you had a money tree? Oh, and we started being really materialistic. But it's fun to just let loose and be funny sometimes. But I got a whole list. I'm accepting donations. No, I'm just kidding. Good morning, Miss Rhonda. Hello. Okay, real quick, before I even start, I am going to go ahead and turn these into an ornament hanging wood slice. These do not come pre-drilled with a hole, so I'm going to do that. And you can too. A lot of times you can find these cheaper without the hole already drilled into them. So I don't even remember when or where I grabbed these, but I just knew I had them. I don't even remember what I got them for. I know, if you're a crafter, I know I'm not the only one that's like that. All right. Now, I did drill that a little low down, but I was afraid if I went too close to the edge, it might split. So we can do this one a little bit closer to the edge and see, but this one's a little bit of an oval shape. No, I didn't really go much farther or much closer on this one. A little bit. There you go. How easy was that? 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Don't let the power tools intimidate you, ladies. I mean, it really is just something with a button that you recharge. And guess what? I bet some of you have a battery-operated hot glue tool. I mean, it's rechargeable, has a button. It doesn't intimidate you, right? Don't let a drill intimidate you. It's super easy to use. And once you learn how to use it, you will unlock a whole array of projects that you can do with a drill. Good morning, Miss Kathy from Glasgow. Oh my gosh, like God is just putting y'all in my path this morning. I lived in Glasgow for a few short months before I moved to Cynthia for a few short months. About the same time, about 19 years ago. That's awesome. Good morning, Miss Shelley. I am originally from here in West Kentucky. I am near the Owensboro, however you want to pronounce Owensboro. I've got a real kind of laid-back country accent. Owensboro, Kentucky, which is just across the river from like the Newburgh, Evansville-ish type area of Indiana. So you're in London, Kentucky. Wow, we got Kentucky ladies in the house today. How fun is that? Okay, now I have lots of vintage Christmas fabric. When I own my own drill and battery saw and robe. There you go. Leona's in Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville, not Louisville. Louisville. You can always tell when out-of-towners come in and they say Louisville, Kentucky. Love, Kathy, are you in Kentucky too? Mary is from Eastern Kentucky. Oh my good. Crystal in Georgetown. My daughter was born in Georgetown. Oh, in 2008. 2008. They're at the little Georgetown Hospital. And I do have family that lives in Georgetown now. Okay, I've got some of this vintage Christmas fabric that I really think I want to use. These are fabric pieces from my friend Esmeralda at Lovett's Garden. She was one of our market day sellers a couple weekends ago, and she's usually always in our vintage and thrifted market days. Good morning from Arizona, Miss Diane. Paducah, Miss Pamela, I know where you're at. Went to college in Murray. Not too far from you. Let me I have one more Christmas fabric I want to show you all. Oh, let me grab my cord here. I put it away thinking I wasn't going to use it, but now that my project plan has changed, I want to grab these Christmas fabrics back out because these, I don't know, we might play around. And since I want to make these double-sided, we have several options that we can work with here. Oh goodness, Esmeralda has the most prettiest Christmas fabrics. Fabrics in general, just fabrics in general. They're just precious. I showed you all these a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago, I guess maybe. They are just so cute. Look at those. And if you love vintage Christmas, these are going to be perfect. Aren't they beautiful? Patty from Freesburg, Illinois. Your kiddos went to Murray. Awesome. Look at this one. This one would probably be a little too big though, but it's darling. We're going to have to come up with another plan for that one. That's some vintage Christmas music. This is a green stripe, which I think would coordinate really cute with these. I just kind of want to pull apart some fabrics that coordinate together because these ornaments are going to mix and match. I'd love to make a whole set of these. And these would be a perfect Christmas gift giving idea. If you know someone who just feels like they have everything, like what could you give them? Make something super easy, but something that they would enjoy and get a really good kick out of. Vintage Christmas. I don't know about you all, but anything that connects with a memory of something always brings me joy, and I think many of you are probably the same way. Good morning, Miss Sherry and Sheila and Elizabeth. Isn't it beautiful? I love this fabric. So for these, I think I'm going to go with patterns that have smaller, for these fabrics, material, I'm going to go with things that have a smaller print on them, with the exception of this. I don't know if I can get away with maybe using this on something on it in some way. I might. These are just too sweet. And look at this one right here. I just love that little boy with the wreath on his little skis with his little dog. I mean, those just bring back homespun memories. I don't know. So how cute would a whole set of these Christmas ornaments be? Make like a set of like 6 of them and give them as a little gift. That would be so sweet. You could even turn these into some coasters. Use some water safe, like dishwasher safe Mod Podge on top of them. No way. Those would be cute. Good morning, Miss Cynthia. How are you, sweet friend? You have been in my thoughts and prayers. I hope you have a blessed day today. I do too, Sharon. The fabric is just darling. So if you will see, head over to Miss Esmeralda at Lovett's Garden. There's Miss Deanie. She put Esmeralda's page name. It's Lovett's Garden. It's spelled a little differently. So if you see that, it's LUVVITS garden all together. Search her up on Facebook. She is just a sweetheart. Her and her husband Chad do their page, and they have the most beautiful vintage items, but her fabric is just the sweetest, and I've not seen fabric that cute anywhere else. You definitely can't find it in stores, big craft stores anywhere right now. You just can't. You just can't find it. And instead of going hunting all over in antique stores, which is like a needle in a haystack, go search up Miss Esmeralda at Lovett's Garden. I think so too, Miss Lisa. Okay, But let's just get into some decision making here. I could just talk to y'all all morning. Good morning, Miss Pat. Did you get some fabrics? Oh, you're gonna love it. Okay, you're gonna love it. This green stripe will go with both of these, the snowman and this vintage here. So I think I'm gonna do that. Let's just I don't know. Let's just get to cutting. Let's just get to cutting. Stop talking, Tracy, and get to cutting. Hi, Miss Anita. You too. You too. Okay. All right. I had to get those scissors good and tight. All right. Now, let's see. I do kind of want to put my fake hand stitch thing to one of these. I know that you may not even know what I'm talking about yet, but I'm going to have some of my, you all know that I kind of coffee stain my fabrics, and Esmeralda's fabrics already come coffee stained for you. That is another amazing thing. So you don't even have to coffee stain them. Most of them already have a beautiful coffee stain to them. So what I do is I take some just plain muslin material and I coffee stain and bake them up. So I just make a whole stash of like fabric like this. I can use these for ribbons, I can use these for embellishments, but I like to make some thicker pieces like this that I like to use for labels or tags of some sort. I thought I had my jar over here, but I don't. A lot of times I use these for labels on jars even, but I do a little faux hand stitch on them, and I think I want to do that on a couple of these ornaments too. So this is just my fabric scrap bag. You all probably wonder how would I store these things? I store them in color-coded bags. So like this is my neutral colored scrap bag. I have another bag that is, I can just grab this one real quick. Look, this is my black gingham, black homespun scrap bag. So once I coffee stain a bunch, I just put them in color-coded bags, and then I can store them flat, or you can hang them on like pant hangers. Depending on what kind of storage you have, you could do that. But I like to put them in color-coded like little categories. I might like have a fall bag. I have a bag of reds. But usually this is my go-to bag for my scraps that are neutral enough that I can use on anything. Okay, so let's just start with, I want to start with the snowman, I think. Y'all love my indecisiveness. When you have so many cute options, how can you decide? I'm starting with the green. Okay, and I just want to cut out a circle that is about the same size as my ornament. I do want to leave a little bit of room, but what I'm going to do first is I'm going to just trace the outside edge of this ornament with my gel pen, and it's not going to show because I'm going to cut inside of my trace line. So but if you have one of those in disappearing fabric pens, that would be perfect for that. Okay. All right, there we go. That's easy enough. Okay, cut this out, and I'm going to cut it out inside my trace line because I do want to be able to see the same, I want to see that this is a wood slice, not only just the edge, but I do want to see a little bit of the outside rim. We have 222 in the house this morning. Y'all are awesome. Love seeing y'all this morning. I'm going to be live again in the morning, bright and early. 7:45 a.m. Central. Not as early as last weekend, but still early because I am going to be doing a fun fall project with something I really think you're going to love. If you haven't heard of it already, I'll show you what it is in a little bit. It's called mold-a-wood. Now, a lot of crafters use this for using it with molds and things like that. I don't do a lot of molds. However, I'm putting my own primitive spin on that product, and I can't wait to show you. Okay, there we go. cut that out. I would normally kind of spend some time to fray the edges. I can do that later with a little piece of sand or my sanding block. Or I can just leave it as is. All right, I'm laying that on here to make sure I can see enough of my wood slice to satisfy me. Yeah, I do. Hey, Miss Judy, she put in exclamation mark followage, and she will get a response if it's working. I don't know if the commands on Facebook are working this morning, but if you are new, or maybe you're not getting notifications, you can also put in exclamation point notify, all together one word, and sometimes it will tell you if your notifications are turned off or turned on, or they'll turn them back on for you. You just never know. You found her? Yes, you found Miss Esmeralda. Well, you listen, I'm telling y'all won't be disappointed. She is just a sweetheart. Okay, I'm just taking my fingers around the edge real quick. I've got to have that frayed edge. I just have to. There you go. Awesome. There you go. Miss Melanie. I don't know who. There you go. Miss Wanda. She put an exclamation mark and notify. That's awesome. That'll help kind of tell Facebook that, hey, I haven't been getting notifications lately. I want to see more. And it'll kind of turn them on for you. Or it'll tell you that it's already turned on. It may do that too. Either way. Okay. Oh, this is going to be cute. Look at that green stripe. Okay, let's use the coffee podge. And I know I knocked my brush off this morning. You guys, fall cannot get here quick enough. Now, I don't want to rush. I don't want to, speed along time, but fall cannot get here quick enough. I'm ready for fall, and it's going to be 91 here today. Oh, it's Fun Friday. All the crap from the clock gang is here. Listen, I love it. I love it. All day long. I would love if you all could just hop in and just enjoy every second. And if you can't, listen, I know you got a life. Right? But whenever you settle in for the night, you can always come to the Craft on the Clock group, and the replays for the day are always available in the featured section of the group. So, you know what? I'm using my coffee podge on this this wood slice. I think I'm just going to go ahead and put it all over this, and that'll kind of be a sealer, but it's also going to kind of grunge it up for me. And I just love the tone that it's given it, because that wood slice is really white. Because I haven't added anything to it. It's not been stained. It's just in its natural state. So, there we go. I kind of like it. These little stripes on a little, they're not straight up and down. They're not straight sideways. They're kind of at a diagonal. I couldn't think of that word this morning. Diagonal. That's the word I needed. And I'm just taking my finger and rubbing in the center. 90s where you are too? Oh, goodness. You can't hear me. Uh-oh. Hope it's working. Coffee podge, April. It is, if you know what my coffee grunge mix is, you used a little bit of that. You mix just Elmer's Skull Glue with the coffee grunge, okay? Mix it together in an old jar. I use about a 3-to-1 ratio, meaning I use, let's say I want to make a big batch, I might use 3 cups of school glue and about 1 cup of coffee grunge and mix it together, okay? And it gives you all of that vintage color and smell with the added bonus of the glue feature. Northern India is still in 90. I know, isn't it crazy? Okay, simple. Y'all can do that. I'm just rubbing in the center, but I'm not pressing it down all the way to the edges. See, I'm kind of leaving it ruffled and frayed around the edges a little bit. And that's intentional. I want it that way. I want it that way. Okay. Now, let's go to this adorable fabric here. And I love, oh gosh, hang on. How am I ever going to decide which little, these are all, I think these are all little boys, I think. Oh, they're so precious. How am I going to decide which one to use? I love them. I have to find, we have 260 in the house this morning. Oh, I love y'all. I hope you have an amazing Friday. And come back and see me tomorrow morning at 7:45. I love this little boy right here. I think I'm going to cut him out. Or look at that little boy right there. He has a little branch with some little birds. He's feeding the birds maybe with a little branch. I don't know. Let's just see which one I think would fit better on here. That might be the deciding factor. Okay, hang on. I just can't stand. We also might look to see which one is around the edge. That way I don't have to cut anything that I don't have to. And I don't, oh, actually, yep. Okay, let's do this because this one is really close to the edge right there. So I think I might use that one. That way I don't have to cut so far into my fabric and I can, you know, use it for other things too. But that is just too sweet. Too sweet. And I think I'm going to cut it out in a square. Even though I know my ornament isn't circle shape, but I'm not going to get a perfect circle. You all know that, right? So I'm going to cut it out in a square and fray the edges, and then we'll put a sweet little sentiment at the bottom, a little word at the bottom. Oh, come on. And I don't even mind if it's cut crooked a little bit. Was that your favorite one? It's just precious. Now you could use these sort of like as a little, just a little embellishment. Make it the star of your ornament. I mean, when you have fabric, listen, I'm becoming I'm not going to say I'm a fabric hoarder, but when you find fabrics that you love, it's easy to like want to hold on to them and not do anything with them because you love them so much. You don't want to cut them or you don't want to use them. But they're not going to bring you much joy if you don't see them and put them on display. So do that. I mean, you don't even have to have a fabric like this. It may just be a fabric pattern that you love. You could do the same thing and just put a little word on there. Or find something, glue a little star on there. You know what I mean? I just want you all to use things that you have. Maybe you have vintage hankies or vintage doilies. You could use the same idea. I'm just taking my fingers and pinching the edge so that I can pull out a few of these little threads so that I can fray the edge of this little piece. Oh, goodness, these are going to be so cute. You're a quilter, you have plenty of fabric. See, there you go. Make a beautiful set of ornaments with your fabric stash. Anybody would appreciate that, right? Here's another thought. How many of you have a loved one that's passed on? Maybe there is a shirt or a blouse, something that you can take a piece of, make a whole set of ornaments using someone's pieces of a shirt. Pass them on to your family members for Christmas. How sweet of a gift would that be? That would be darling and so precious. So precious. Okay, here we go. That's what I'm going to put on there. How sweet is that? I didn't even do much. I've been doing more talking than creating. Good morning, Sandra. Good morning, Miss Kay. Let's see. you still have a yard of Princess Diana Rose's fabric made in honor that I haven't been able to bring myself to cut. This would be a good idea. Yes, Miss Terry, I think these would be wonderful, wonderful ways to use sentimental fabrics. And I feel like the wood slices just kind of give it that natural, primitive, rustic feel. You don't have to use wood slices. I know there are like blank ornament designs. I got to make sure I have my hole at the top before I place this on. There are plenty of ornament blanks that you can find at craft supply stores, but let me encourage you to think outside of the box and use some of that stuff that you have. Some things that you wouldn't normally even consider to be a craft supply, you can use shirts. You can even have someone make a sketch on a piece of paper and decoupage it onto an ornament. Think outside of the box. Okay, now this, I did not glue it all the way to the edge, okay, intentionally, but I want to make sure that it sticks good. Sometimes fabric to fabric takes a little bit of extra moisture and a little bit of extra effort to get it to adhere and stick really well. So that's as simple as it gets right there. And I'm going to kind of, once this gets dry, I can go around the edges and ruffle it up a little bit more. But if I do it right now, it's wanting to pull it back off because it hasn't had a chance to dry just yet. Now, if you want to, on top of that, you can add a little bit more of that coffee grunge around the corners to kind of darken it. But that's going to crisp up your edges, and it just depends on if you want it crispy or not crispy. I just kind of just did a little bit of a dry brush right on top of it to kind of get it to stick down even better. Okay, now I need to punch a little hole in the top of this again. I've got a little punch right here I think will work. Maybe. There it is. I don't think I would use hot glue on this though, because that will leave you kind of a bumpy texture underneath your fabric. So keep that in mind. Okay, now let's use some twine, string, whatever you got. You could even use, my mind is just going everywhere because I'm loving these fabric pieces. I think I'm going to use one of these little strips of my coffee stained fabric. I just have to make sure that my hole is big enough to feed that through. So I'm going to cut that a little bit. And I'm going to show you in just a second up close what we got. Good morning, Miss Wanda. Good morning, Rachel. How are you, Donna? Okay. Punch that through there. Come on. I'm punching in from the front because if I punch in from the back, it will pull my fabric off because like I said, it's not, the glue has not dried on there yet. That fabric may be a little too thick. Let's rip it a little bit, maybe a little bit narrower. I thought about using the twine, the jute, but I don't know. I want the homespun feel of this fabric. So that's what I'm going, that's why I've decided to use this fabric as the little hang tag or the hanger. And if you make it thin enough, it should go through. If not, you may have to drill your hole a little bit bigger. There we go. Persistence and patience pay off. Oh, that's going to be so sweet. Love that I was the only one that I thought I was the only one that loved to just look at my fabric and scrapbook paper. Marianne. No, girl. We got to use it. Use it so that you can see it and share it. I mean, if you love fabric so much, you could create your own fabric-themed Christmas tree. I mean, think about it. You could make a garland with your fabric. You can make ornaments galore with your fabric. Think about it. Think about it. I love the idea. I love the idea. And if you don't collect fabric yet, we might get you into it before we're done today. You have 3 drawers full of fabric, Jacqueline. Oh my goodness, then this would be perfect. I love it. I love it. Okay, let's do the other side. Shall we? Why not? Let's go with Just look at this fabric and think, oh my gosh, what can I do? What can I do? Let's do the back side. Or no, let's do this one. That way I can kind of show you all at the end. Oh, these are just too yummy. Too yummy. Ah, goodness. Okay, I'm drawing around the outside, and then when I go to cut it, I'm going to cut inside the line. Yeah. So that the wood slice shows through. Okay, now this one I'm using a vintage snowflake fabric. If you missed it at the beginning, it's just a red and cream, it's coffee stained fabric, but it's a vintage snowflake pattern. And I'm cutting inside of my trace line because I want some of my wood slice to show. Oh goodness. You all could go ahead and get started on these now and have several gift sets ready. How sweet would these be to make a whole set for each of your grandchildren? Maybe your children. These would be so sweet, and I'm telling you, they would be my favorite gift. Good, Pamela. It's hard for me to cut my fabric, but watching you make these makes me want to make ornaments. I hope so. I hope you will. Listen, that fabric is not going to do any good sitting in a drawer. It's not going to do any good, and you don't get to enjoy it as much when it's sitting in a drawer. And if you create something with it, it's something that can be passed along that has even more meaning. Kim, these wood rounds, I really don't know. I have a feeling they probably came from Hobby Lobby. But you can get wood rounds in lots of different sizes at almost any craft supply store in different sizes. Okay, I want to challenge you to do it. And then if you do, I would love for you to share your pictures. I'd love it. You can share them over in the Craft on the Clock group, or you can share them in my All Things Primitive group. I would love it. Would love it if you do that. I'm just fraying the threads around the edges, okay? Because I want that tattered look. Now that's my vintage snowflake. Isn't that pretty? And that's just going to give me my pattern background. Oh my gosh. Now, granted, I don't have my coffee podge on there, but look, those are going to be so sweet together. And you see, you could make different combinations of patterns with your fabrics. And you don't even have to do much of anything. In fact, I'll show you how to keep this one even more simple. If you just want to appreciate the pattern on the fabric, I'll show you what we can do with this one. That's what we'll do. I'll show you. Okay. Now I'm going to put this down. Keep in mind the top of your ornament. Okay. Love the snowflake pattern. I think so too. Oh, you had your fabric dry rotted. Oh no, your grandmother passed away with closets full of material So don't save it. Unfortunately, it was dry rotted and you couldn't. Oh, that breaks my heart. Okay, see? Even another reason. Get that fabric out and make something special. Make something special. If you make some for yourself and make some for your family, they will appreciate them and love them. You could write the year on the back of them. You could even sign the back of it. You could put a little sweet message, put the year and say love grandma, love Aunt, Becky or whatever. Put the year on there, and then that keeps a keepsake. That makes my eyes want to leak. Because I know when I pull out Christmas ornaments, every time I pull out Christmas ornaments, I always have some that bring back a memory of somebody. So, no crying, no crying. No crying. Dry it up. Okay. Moving on. Okay, so all I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this little piece of fabric right here, okay? And let's see here. All I want to do is cut a little piece that is a little bit shorter than the width of my circle here. Oh my gracious. Okay, about to drop. Oh goodness, who thought crafting could bring on happy tears? I'm telling you, crafting can be therapy in so many ways. It can make you feel close to somebody that you haven't seen in forever. It can bring back memories of people that you miss, family members that maybe you haven't thought of in a long time, or maybe a memory that you had forgotten about. But it all has a way of touching you in some way. It's allergies, that's right, Melanie. Oh goodness. Okay, now this is a little too big because it hides too much of my fabric. Let me shorten it down a little bit. Can't hide all that fabric on there. I'm just trying to size it, and then I'm fraying the edges like that. See that yummy little piece of tattered fabric? Most of your ornaments are special items that are so right. I know. Who thought fabric would do this to us today? Right? Okay. Now, before I glue this down, I have to decide the word. Oh, what do I want to put on this little piece? We're making this one really simple. I could put joy. I could put Noel. I could put let it snow. I could even put a family name. I could put the Campbells and put established. Oh, that would be sweet, right? Let me see. What would y'all want to put on there? Definitely craft therapy for you, right? Oh, thank you, Miss Judy. What can we put on? Believe. That would be a great one. Let it snow would be cute since it has snowflakes to the pattern. Yeah, there you go. Anita's thinking along the same line. Memories. That would be a great one. Love daily. That's sweet. Believe. Hey, Miss Diane, how are you? You make your grandchildren an ornament every year and you hope that means something. Oh, I love that, Regina. I love that. What can I'm just torn on what to put on there. Peace. Joy. I could put joy on there. My letters would be pretty big to make it fit. Trust. Let's see. Let's go with joy. Joy or Noel. I like the word joy. I think I could fit it. I could put the O in the center here. Let me just show you kind of what it would look like. Okay. my fabric is a little bit wrinkled, but that's okay. Once I glue it down, it'll look a little bit more put together. But that's what you're looking at right there. Vintage, that would be awesome. Yes. All right, and I like using this gel pen. I know I've told y'all this before. This is the Pilot brand of ink pens, G2. My camera's backwards, sorry. A gel pen. I love doing this and writing this on fabric. It works perfect. And I'm just gonna start with the O because it's right there in the center, and that way it's easy to get my whole word centered on there. But I think this, using this, kind of makes it look like you've hand stitched it. I don't know how, it rolls on the fabric really nice, and it just gives you that hand stitched look. And then I'm going to go around the edges, and I'll show you this up close. I'm just going to make some little stitch marks, some little dashes to look like little stitch marks. Make them different sizes so that they look realistic. Okay, that's what I have right there. It's backwards for y'all. Oh, that would be cute, Karen. Yes, you could even put another backer piece to it to kind of get it to stand out if you wanted to. Good morning, Miss Mary. How are you? Thank you for sprinkling us out. So you see, that looks like hand stitching, I think. And just form your letters. You don't want them to look like handwritten letters. So if they're a little bit jagged and wonky, that's okay. That even fits the theme even better. So I'm going to take my coffee podge, which is my glue and coffee grunge mix, and I'm going to put it on the back side of this label, but I'm not going to go all the way to the edges. See, I'm just going to spread that around in the center. And if I can keep it from going to the edge, I'm going to try, because I want those little tattered threads to show. You know, I want them to be able to be a little more noticeable. So if I put this coffee podge all the way to the edge, it's going to glue those little threads all the way down to the surface, and I don't want that. I want them to show up. Okay, I got to make sure I've got my ornament right side up. And this coffee podge will give it that coloring. And I'm just going to take my finger and smooth down the center. You all see kind of what it's looking like. Now, the coloring is not going to all be the same around the edges, so hang tight with me and we'll see what we can do here. Now it's going to appear really dark. It will dry lighter. Okay, once it dries, it will dry lighter, and then once it's completely dry, I can go over it with a whole coat of my coffee grunge and give it all like a, you know, that look to it, a primitive look. Okay, so I think, take this just a tiny step farther. I think I'm going to take just a little bit of ink and I'm going to rub around the edges. Now, I'm thinking I probably could get this same effect with my coffee grunge. This is the vintage photo distressed ink. The vintage photo is the color. It's distressed ink. But I'm just going to go around the edges a little bit. This is totally optional, and you could probably do this same coloring look using the coffee grunge. But since my glue is not dry yet, I don't need to add any moisture to it, because it'll start coming off. So that's why I'm using this ink for right now, to kind of go ahead and get that vintage color to it. to make it look. You know, how many of us have an old quilt and you just love the feel of an old quilt? Just love to be curled up in an old quilt. To me, this kind of brings that same little nostalgia to it. You have the softness of those fabrics, and then, you know, just the vintage patterns and look to these materials. I think just is a sweet little homespun way to bring Christmas in to your home decor. Okay, now if you wanted to embellish them with a little bit of pine cones or, you know, whatever you wanted, greenery, you could do all kinds of things. Okay, I'm just going to keep these somewhat simple for today. Let me see if I can. Okay, punch that hole right there. Trying to keep these somewhat simplistic so that you can see definitely how easy it would be to put these together. Oh my gosh, I'm over time. Oh my gosh. Elma, what time did I start? 8:15. I gotta go. I'm so sorry. Yes, let me give you that look. I'm over time. Well, gosh, we got so busy, I totally forgot. I am so sorry. Our next crafter is already live in the Craft on the Clock group. Y'all go check it out. Love you all. Have a great weekend.